tonight. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency records tremendous successes in 2020. On the entertainment scene, Nollywood industry mourns a fast-rising actor, David Miller. And Nigeria qualifies for the 2021 Under-17 African Cup of Nations as Manchester United faces acid test of Premier League.
A very good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Channel 5 News at 7. I am Miriam Mmekamadi. Figures from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC) as of 15 January 2021 indicate 199 new cases of COVID-19 in their city, making the total number of confirmed cases to be 14,338, while active cases stand at 6,387, and the number of discharged cases in the territory now stands at 7,840, and sadly, 111 deaths have so far been recorded in the Federal Capital Territory. One of the attendant consequences of coronavirus pandemic is the overstretching of the healthcare system, with no geographical exception. With the second wave of the virus now experienced rising tension, health correspondent Hakimat Ali takes a look at the accessibility of health services for other ailments outside COVID-19.
The world's attention, no doubt, is still being focused on combating the coronavirus pandemic, and this time faced with a second wave which comes with a deadlier variant. This, however, does not negate the fact that there are other health concerns that need to be addressed, just like the array of patients waiting in this facility.
As revealed in hospitals visited in Abuja, an array of patients seeking medical attention for different health concerns.
It's actually alarming, but we can't keep our sick ones at home. You know, we have to still take the risk to bring them out.
Bring one of my brother here, so he don't have blood. They say that they should donate blood in his body, about 5 blood.
I put to bed here, but it was because of the stress I went through. The baby did not cry. And because of that, they took him to the oxygen.
There are washing hand basins out there for you to wash your hands when you are coming in or when you are going out.
To all these respondents, it is heartwarming that the health workers are on ground and the hospitals are running fine with necessary modifications.
We still maintain our services to patients who are non-COVID. The second wave is really hitting, and we see quite a lot of patients with symptoms suggestive of COVID, for which we have a holding area where we keep such patients.
In this new wave of the infection, FCT in less than a week records over 1,000 cases. However, the administration is doing all it takes to ensure access to healthcare is not denied.
Unlike when it came for the first time, where we converted our hospitals to treatment centers. Now, all the hospitals we earlier converted to treatment centers, COVID treatment centers, have been reconverted to normal hospital services. So all our patients, all the other ailments outside COVID-19 are having enough facilities and personnel to manage them.
While the FCT administration is doing its bit to ensure accessible health care for all, residents are expected to take personal responsibility by adhering to the COVID-19 protocols to win the fight against the virus. In Abuja, Hakimat Ali, NTA News.
FCT National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in the year 2020 made seizures of about 5,300 kilograms, equivalent to 6 tons of different illicit drugs, both on the highways and across the territory. This is against the 4 tons recovered in the previous year, 2019. In this review, Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu takes a look at the agency's operations and successes in the nation's capital for the year ended.
On the peak of the COVID-19, between April and May of the year 2020, the command recorded 2,500 kilograms of interception of illicit drugs to the tune of about 3 tons. The Abaji-Gwagwalada corridor of the Abuja-Lokoja highway provided a huge chunk of the arrest made by the agency. Operations in the course of the campaign assumed 2 patterns: thorough raid or cordon off and search operations.
The Lokoja-Abaji axis, as you call it, is the link between the north and the south. Or if I should use the word, between largely where these drugs are found or produced and where these drugs are largely abused. So it's not unexpected that you have such seizure along the corridor of Lokoja-Abaji. It's almost the same thing that you are having in the corridors between Jeba and Mokwa.
505 arrests of suspects were made all year round, with 31 at the close of the year. 91 of such were incidental arrests, with 257 for brief intervention. Similarly, 118 of those found wanting after investigation were successfully prosecuted to various jail terms, while 130 cases are pending in various courts.
The issue of drug abuse is not an issue of enforcement alone. That is why we believe that the key issue is prevention. Prevention is very, very important. Don't allow our youths, don't allow any person to get in touch with the drugs, because try to avoid it early. So because the moment you allow him to touch or her to touch the drugs, you've already created a market. So you are now battling to reverse the process, but you really don't even allow it to start.
Amongst this category of suspects are professionals in fields of human endeavors arrested for drug trafficking. Of particular reference were the stories of Obianuju Ekejoba, a legal practitioner, and a medical doctor who were apprehended. FCT residents will also not forget in a hurry the several instances of intervention made outside the command's mandate to prevent threats to national security. In this regard, the cases of Samuel Nwagalagu, the alleged gun runner, and the money laundering syndicate readily comes to mind.
I can say that greed and non-respect to societal value and the urge for get-rich syndrome, I think these are some of the key issues, but in some cases we cannot rule out ignorance.
The command says the agency has identified advocacy and enlightenment going forward in the fight against drug peddling and abuse, with efforts on to strengthen capacity for rehabilitation. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
There was a shift from conventional worship to streaming church services live last year because of the coronavirus pandemic. During the period, there were indications that there was no limit to connect with God. Deborah Gazajimaika, in a retrospective of 2020, reminds us of how churches fared and its religious activities.
At this challenging time, many people have their faith in God tested, but sermons during the lockdown encouraged everyone to stay strong, as heaven was never locked down. Clergymen did not lend in their advice to congregation on the need to play their part in ensuring the safety of others through observing the NCDC safety measures for further prevention of the spread of coronavirus.
People send me their testimonies of what God is doing even in the lockdown. I've always said that the earth may be locked down, but heaven is not locked down.
We should keep distance. Please let us follow all these principles. It's because of our life, and we should not talk against our government.
Nevertheless, some churches that flout government's COVID-19 order were sanctioned, with their services disrupted by the FCT Ministerial Task Team on COVID-19.
Go home immediately.
During the year under review, most Christian festivals were celebrated under low key. However, FCT Christian Welfare Board also suffers a setback in 2020 due to the global pandemic, as the last pilgrimage by the board in 2020 was the second batch of 2019 pilgrims of 1,500 people. Deborah Gazaj-Maika, NTA News.
And away from review of last year's activities, the frequent increase of some food items in the market is becoming alarming, especially for some families. Odere Oboro Arutere went round in one of the markets in Abuja metropolis and brings us the situation reports.
These vehicles are all heading to the market to shop for the weekend. Let's see how the shopping goes. The incessant increase in food commodities is becoming worrisome to many, as amudu of gari, which was sold for 250 naira, 300 naira, depending on the quality, is now 400 naira. Beans, which was sold 400 naira before the Yuletide, is now 600 naira per mudu. Rice is still expensive at the market.
I'm even surprised. I said this January that there is no money, that we're supposed to get things cheap. They say it's because of how they are buying them, not because of fuel. Everything adds money. So, but there's nothing we can do. One have to eat.
No, people know they too patronize us now. So that 400, not everybody can afford it now.
Everything now has increased. Things are so difficult that many people now, they decided not to come to the market, pending the road markets close to the houses, so they don't come to the market to buy things again.
Basket of tomatoes is now 1,000 naira against 3,500 naira in December. Fresh pepper, which was sold for 2,500 naira, now goes for 800 naira. A basket of onion is 1,000 naira, while amudu of crayfish still goes for 1,000 naira. Meanwhile, a kilo of cow meat is 1,800 naira.
Midday cost now, it took cost. Before they say 1 kilo, 1.4, now 1,800 naira.
People where the Christmas should come, tomato no day. Now tomato don't come down because the people where the farm now you get tomato.
Many are of the view that with the 2021 in focus, prices of food items will reduce. In Abuja, Odiri Ogboru Arutere, NTA News.
This is NTA Channel 5 News at 7. More reports after this timeout. Do stay with us.
Please cover your mouth with your bent elbow like this. Auntie, cover my mouth for what? Corona don't go from Nigeria. I beg, Auntie, go to stop my life.
No. Coronavirus pandemic is not over. Don't relent in observing safety protocols and good hygiene. Frequent hand washing with soap and water for at least 20 seconds or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Practice good respiratory etiquette, including covering your coughs and sneezes. Avoid close contact with a sick person. Cover your mouth and nose with a mask when around others. Clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces.
You're absolutely right. Coronavirus is still with us.
Please, and remember, coronavirus pandemic is not over. Protect yourself and others to stay safe.
This message is brought to you by NTA Channel 5, Abuja, the Unity Station.
Hold it! Me! I don't come out my hand from oil bunkering.
General, what you going to yarn? What did the yarn say? I don't understand though.
Because they spoil our water and our environment. And they cause our people serious harm. militants say, you know good. Me, I not do again Sam. Because why? Change begins with me.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Thanks for staying with us. At its simplest form, ethics is a system of moral principle identifying and distinguishing between good, bad morals and values. Chidima Ansanagomo in this report examines moral decadence as it affects the society.
Ethics, which is called moral, is what governs human behavior, which include right, wrong, justice, fairness, respect, tolerance, among others. Both morality and ethics have to do with knowing what is good and bad, as well as treating people as you would want to be treated. How then can moral principles be promoted?
Ethics covers your entire way of life, how you respect the institution you represent, the society you live in, your immediate family, your friends, your neighbors. Right from childhood, we've been taught to appreciate all these differences. Wherever you walk, you have to have other people apart from your tribe or religion. So you have to learn how to coexist with this kind of people.
Others say there is nothing as nice as cultivating good human relations, being considerate with the feelings of others, having a good sense of humor, to be alert to give good service, and not to be found wanting, as these they say will bring down the level of productivity.
We are advising parents to teach their own children the integrity, about honesty, the norms and objective of the society. So we encourage the parents to encourage their children, put them in a good schools so that they can have integrity in future, so that Nigeria will come better. But because now youth are abusing drugs, they are abusing so many things.
For somebody to be trustworthy, for somebody to trust you, as in you have to be honest in everything you do in this life. So treat people well, behave well, so that people can trust you in future to come.
Observers say people should also guide jealously the ethics of their profession with a sense of integrity, and that there is nothing as nice as a cheerful words of greeting and smiles. Chidimansin Agomo, NTN News.
Due to the fact that there is increased insecurity threat, government has placed a ban on scavengers in the FCT ever before now. Yet this group of people continues to carry out these activities in the name of searching for their daily bread. In this report, Sefia Noma Uche captures some of their activities in Gwarimpa area in the FCT.
Scavenging is the act of searching through the waste bin for food or useful things. That is what defines scavengers, popularly called Babambola. They move around with sacks that will contain whatever they pick from the dustbin. For 19-year-old Sadiq Abdullahi, he is into an honest venture that enables him to go home with 2,000 or more every day. For everything that has advantages, scavenging to majority of house owners is tagged dangerous due to activities of some of those scavengers who steal useful items.
Early hours of the day, they attack people that want to join. Early hours of the day, if they see you at anyhow, they will pick it. So their activities is bad.
This is encroaching on our privacy. The issue is the security risk is scary. Time you have your dirt gathered in your dustbin outside, they come and scatter everything, looking for things only God knows. And they can also be watching your house, checking on the things. If there's nobody around, they can also be bandits. They could also be armed robbers that could come and attack your house while they are trying to search for things in the dustbin.
It is true that government has banned the activity over again without putting a drastic measure to see to effectiveness of the ban. Residents are, however, appealing to the government to take a major step in providing 2 waste bins for every apartment, one meant for recycling items, the other for debt, and get persons like Sadiq.
On the entertainment scene, Nigerian singer and celebrity couple Gold celebrated their 2nd wedding anniversary as the Nollywood industry mourns a fast-rising actor, David Mella. On the foreign scene, Busta Rhymes loses £100 due to throat infection. Details with Emma Jackson.
Simi and Adekule Gold celebrate 2nd wedding anniversary. The celebrity couple celebrated their union on January 13th. Simi and Adekule Gold had their wedding in 2019 and welcomed a beautiful baby girl in 2020. David Mella, a fast-rising Nollywood actor, has died. The actor died on Monday evening, January 11, after suffering from an undisclosed sickness. Popular Nigerian comedian Ali Baba Ekpome has taken to social media to slam Nigerians for being the post Ali Baba wrote on Instagram. The person who wrote this deserves a national honor. Davido had his baby girl in 20 with his Atlanta-based baby mama Amanda. As for what is trending, Senator Dino Melaye has drawn social media on flames as he dances to the supposed national anthem of the Stingy Men Association of Nigeria.
My vote, according to my size, I know they promise anything where my power no reach. My yes is my yes, my no.
And on the sports scene, Nigeria qualifies for the 2021 Under-17 African Cup of Nations as Manchester United faces acid tests of Premier League title credentials at the Liverpool. Hakimat Aliu has the details on Sports Brief.
The Golden Eaglets have clinched one of the tickets to feature in the age-grade Continental Football Tournament. This is after securing a 1-0 victory over Burkina Faso's Young Stallion in the Under-17 WAFU B semi-finals played. Emmanuel Papo scored the only goal of the encounter to send the Golden Eaglets to the final of the regional tournament, which is being hosted by Togo. From the foreign scene, Liverpool and Manchester United will lock horns for the first time this season at Anfield on Sunday, with Jurgen Klopp's side desperate to knock the Red Devils off the following weekend in the FA Cup 4th round. The last time United and Liverpool locked horns in a title race was 12 years. In boxing, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury are set to earn $100 million in heavyweight showdown, according to the promoter Bob Arum of British boxing. With Sports Brief, Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
And just before we go, remember, coronavirus is still ravaging more countries around the world. So take responsibility and obey all safety protocols.